He was a synth-pop legend terrified of being trapped by his past. They were a futuristic metal band hell-bent on pushing the boundaries of heavy music. So when Fear Factory decided to cover Gary Numan's classic Cars, Numan himself was hesitant, and he was worried that the collaboration would just sound dated. But this unlikely pairing didn't just work, it created a genre-bending hit. It became Fear Factory's biggest single, and propelled their album Obsolete to gold status. It also introduced the music icon to a whole new generation. This is the story of how two artists from completely different worlds collided to create one of the most unexpected and powerful hits of the late 90s. So why was the team-up so out of left field? Well, you have to understand where each artist was in the late 90s. On one side, you have Gary Numan, an icon, a pioneer of electronic music. In 1979, his song Cars was a global phenomenon. It was a synth-pop anthem that felt both futuristic and personal, inspired by a road rage incident that made him see his car as a protective metal box, an empire with four wheels on it. The track's minimalist synth riff and Numan's robotic vocals defined a genre and influenced everyone from Nine Inch Nails to Marilyn Manson. But with a hit that big, you risk being typecast. By the late 90s, Numan was actively avoiding 80s nostalgia tours, fearing that he'd be seen only as the Cars guy, even as his own music was growing darker and heavier. On the other side, you had Fear Factory, hailing from Los Angeles. They were an absolute force in the industrial metal scene. Their sound was a brutal, calculated assault. Dino Cazares' machine gun guitar riffs, Raymond Herrera's inhumanly precise drumming, and Burton C. Bell's revolutionary vocals that shifted from guttural growls to soaring clean melodies. Their albums, like the classic Demanufacture, were a dystopian concept record about humanity's war with machines. They were heavy, aggressive, and sonically dense. To put it mildly, they weren't a band you'd expect to hear on mainstream radio. Side note, guys, I've done a whole video on Demanufacture on my main channel. The link is down below. These were two artists separated by genre, an ocean, and a generation of musical evolution. And yet, a strange series of events was about to bring their worlds together in a way that nobody saw coming. It was around 1996, while touring Europe, Fear Factory started playing Cars as a fun, unexpected encore. The crowd responded positively, and the band, all Gary Numan fans, enjoyed it so much they decided to record a studio version, maybe for a B-side. Somehow word got back to Gary Numan's camp that this heavy band was covering his signature song. Fear Factory decided to roll the dice and invite the man himself to join them, never actually thinking he was going to say yes. Numan's first reaction was one of apprehension. As a rule, he avoided anything that felt like he was cashing in on 80s nostalgia. He was worried that joining a cover of his biggest hit would reinforce the one-hit wonder image he was trying to escape. But this wasn't some retro act asking. This was Fear Factory, a modern, respected band from a totally different scene. Numan realized that there was a huge potential upside. In his words, there was a chance that it could introduce me to a new generation of people who didn't know my history, he stated. He saw that his own music had become heavier, so this collaboration could be the perfect bridge to an audience that might appreciate his new direction. So, of course, he said yes. Numan was flown to Vancouver for a 3-day session. Any worries he had about working with a metal band dissolved almost immediately. He found them brilliant and really easy to work with, impressed by their passion and positive attitude. The collaboration was a success both on tape and in spirit. Numan not only laid down his iconic vocals for Cars, but also recorded a chilling spoken word intro for the album's title track, Obsolete, cementing his place in the album's dystopian world. Now here's the kicker. The Cars cover was never meant to be a major single. It was included as a bonus track tucked away in a limited edition digipack of their 1998 album Obsolete. As vocalist Burton C. Bell said at the time, a cover should be a B-side, not the main event. Meanwhile, Cazares told Billboard that including the song in the digipack was done as a thank you to the fans. But the song soon had a life of its own. According to the band, the song got leaked to radio. College radio stations got a hold of it and started playing it relentlessly. Soon it jumped to major commercial rock radio. Their label, Roadrunner Records, saw the momentum and they ran with it. Suddenly, Fear Factory, a band known for its brutally heavy sound, had a mainstream radio hit. The song shot up the charts, hitting number 16 on the Billboard Mainstream Rock Tracks chart, and number 38 on alternative rock radio. It also peaked at number 57 in the UK on their singles chart.
Here in my car, when the embers burst down, will you
This radio exposure sent sales for Obsolete into overdrive, making it Fear Factory's best-selling album. It was later certified gold in the States for selling over 500,000 copies, with total sales reportedly topping 750,000 copies by 2001. Gazaris told Billboard in 1999, "We're really big fans of the original. Fear Factory is brutal and heavy, but we still have a lot of melodic elements in our records and keyboards." So Gary was a huge influence. This also led to one of the greatest unintentional bait-and-switch moments in music history. As guitarist Dino Cazares later recalled, fans who loved the catchy synth-driven cover would end up buying Obsolete expecting more of the same. They'd get home, pop in the CD, and the opening track, Shock, would unleash a crushing industrial metal assault. Cazares told radio stations that he even got calls from people complaining about false advertisements, totally blindsided by how heavy the rest of the record was. Guitarist added that the band never wanted to be known as a cover band, stating, "Our band is still growing in America, but we didn't do this to get popular quick or copy some other band. We aren't jumping on the Limp Bizkit tip. We created our own style and intend to use it." He was of course referring to Limp Bizkit covering George Michael's song Faith back in 1997. The music video, directed by John S. Bartley, further cemented the song's place in the 90s rock culture with its futuristic sci-fi vibe. The song was also famously featured as the main theme for the video game Test Drive 6, exposing it to an even wider audience. In the end, the Cars cover was a massive win for everyone. For Fear Factory, it broke them into the mainstream in a way that heavier material never could have, and it also gave them their best-selling album and a level of recognition that solidified their place in metal history. For Gary Numan, the impact was profound. The cover introduced him to a younger, heavier audience that might have never found him otherwise. It gave his most famous song a fresh, powerful update that even he had struggled to achieve. More importantly, it validated his own artistic evolution. The collaboration proved that the DNA of his electronic music could not only coexist with heavy metal, but thrive with it. He had connected with a new generation, not as a relic of the past, but as a relevant and influential artist. The story of Fear Factory's cover of Cars is more than just a tale of a successful song. It's a testament to what happens when you step outside of your comfort zone. It's about how a synth-pop icon's paranoia about his past and a metal band's fun encore idea could accidentally create a genre-bending classic. It proved that sometimes the most unlikely pairings produce the most fascinating results in music history. What's your favorite unlikely music collaboration? Let me know in the comments section below, and as always guys, thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more stories behind the music. We'll see you again on Rock and Roll True Stories 2. Take care.